What is going on, you glorious savages? We're back. We're back to doing video and audio. Check that out, because some of you were like, hey, Travis, where the videos go? So we're going to do video again, okay? Because you guys are demanding, and that's okay. You should be able to demand what you want out of life. What else? Zhuzhed up the website a little bit, a little makeover there. So if you're down, please check that out. A lot of the same stuff, but it looks better, and I'm excited about that. So all the same stuff is there. One-on-one coaching, speaking, workshops, et cetera, e pluribus unum. So pop over there. If you're interested in any of that stuff, please reach out. What else? Follow me on social if you do. Let's not be a dick about it. And I think that's it. I'm going to now shut up so I can thereby talk some more.
Welcome to Not Sorry with Travis Crutcher, the show where Travis will say some things that might trigger you, offend you, make you laugh, or even motivate you. So, if you're not easily offended, stick around and enjoy. On the other hand, if you are easily offended, listen anyway. Then go tell everyone how triggered you were. Either way, you can be certain of one thing. Travis is not sorry.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So if you're watching the video, you're like, Travis, what happened during the intro? You were fine, and now your eyes are all watery. You crying? No. My coffee tried to murder me, but I'm okay. I won. I do not negotiate with terrorists or coffee. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about something, like I said, these anti-goals, and I'm hoping that they kind of flip your goal setting on its head in a very good way, okay? Because how these work, right? Instead of just focusing on what you want, we want to talk about the power of defining what you absolutely don't want. Because see, most people spend their time chasing goals, right? Without ever stopping to think about what they're trying to avoid. But here's the thing. Sometimes knowing what you don't want is exponentially more powerful than knowing what you want. So I want to dive into why anti-goals might be the missing piece of your success strategy. And I know that this is something that's helped me tremendously, okay? So what the hell is an anti-goal? It's simple. It's defining what you absolutely don't want in your life, your career, your relationships, okay? So instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I don't want to be broke and stressed at 50. Big difference, right? Instead of saying things like, I want a good relationship, no shit, who doesn't? Say, I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to walk on eggshells. A lot different, right? Instead of, I want to be a good leader, hear that all the time. You say, I don't want to be the kind of boss people quit because of, okay? Here's why this works. Because fear, my friends, is a powerful motivator, sometimes more powerful than desire. I was working with a client who could not figure out what he wanted to do with his career. I mean, could not. Spent months trying to identify his passion, his purpose, all that stuff. Nothing clicked. Then I asked him, okay, what kind of work do you absolutely not want to do? What kind of boss do you never want to be? What kind of life do you want to avoid? And fucking boom, crystal clear answers. And once he knew what he didn't want, what he did want became obvious. Sometimes you just need to know what you're running from before you can figure out what you want to run to, right? It makes a big difference. And here's what's beautiful about anti-goals is they cut through all the bullshit and get to what really matters. When someone asks you, what do you want, right? Most people give some generic answer like, I want to be happy, I want to be successful, I want to make a difference. Cool, who the fuck doesn't? And really, what does that even mean? But when you ask, what don't you want? People get specific, man. They talk, I don't want to work 80 hours a week and miss my kids growing up. I don't want to be financially dependent on anyone. I don't want to be in a job where I'm micromanaged. Show of hands on that shit, right? You see the difference though? Anti-goals force you to be concrete about what matters to you. Like, I don't want to be the kind of parent that's always on their phone when their kids are talking, right? I don't want to be the kind of leader who creates stress instead of solving problems. Or I don't want to be the kind of person who talks about goals but never takes action, right? These anti-goals give us clear boundaries, clear standards, clear lines that you won't cross. And when you know what you won't accept, making decisions becomes a lot easier. And so let's talk about how they reduce stress, okay? Because this is one of the spots anti-goals really shine. Because most stress comes from unclear boundaries, from not knowing what you will and won't tolerate, from saying yes to things that go against your values. But when you have clear anti-goals, you have clear boundaries. I don't want to work with clients who don't respect my time. Awesome. So you fire clients who constantly reschedule. Problem solved. I don't want to be in meetings that waste my time. Heard that one a bunch of times. So if you can, decline the meetings without clear agendas. Very simple. Or how about, I don't want to be around people who drain my energy. Awesome. So limit the time you spend with energy vampires. Anti-goals give you permission to say no. They give you a framework for protecting what matters. I had a client who was constantly stressed about taking on too much at work. couldn't figure out how to say no to opportunities. Then we defined her anti-goals. I don't want to work weekends. Ooh, I don't want to take on projects that don't align with my strengths. I don't want to work with people who don't value what I bring. Those are big, right? And suddenly, saying no became easy because she wasn't just rejecting what she saw as opportunities, she was protecting her anti-goals. And when you look at it that way, it's a massive difference. One thing I've got to touch on, though, is how this applies to leadership, because this is where anti-goals can transform how you lead. Most leaders focus on what they want their team to do, but the best leaders also know what they don't want to become. And this was 100% me as a young soldier and leader. I was the kind out there going, I don't want to be the type of leader people are afraid to bring problems to. I don't want to create a culture where people just tell me what I want to hear, because then I can't grow, right? I don't want to be focused on results that I ignore how we get them. That's gross, right? Those anti-goals shaped every decision I made as a young leader and throughout my entire career. So when you're tempted to shoot the messenger, you remember, oh, I don't want to be the leader that people are afraid to bring problems to, right? When you're about to make a decision without your team's input, you remember, I don't want to create a culture where people just tell me what I want to hear. And shit changes, man. Anti-goals keep you accountable to the kind of leader you want to be by reminding you of the kind of leader you don't want to become. I worked with the team, man, where the leader had one clear anti-goal. I don't want anyone on my team to dread coming to work. That single anti-goal influenced every policy, every meeting, every interaction. And because that decision was filtered through that lens, will this make people dread coming to work? They didn't dread coming to work. Okay, so how do we create effective anti-goals? Here's the framework. Real simple. Look at your pain points first, right? What situations stress you out the most? What types of people drain your energy? What environments make you fucking miserable? Second, identify your non-negotiables. What behaviors will you not tolerate? What compromises will you not make? What lines will you not cross? Third, get specific, man. Don't say, I don't want to be unhappy. No shit, right? Say, I don't want to be in a job where I'm not learning anything new. Don't say, I don't want a bad relationship. Yeah, I gotcha. Say, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't support my goals. Big difference, right? Big difference. Fourth, use them as decision filters, man. Every opportunity, every relationship, every commitment, run it through your anti-goals. If it violates an anti-goal, it's an automatic no. Automatic no. That's how I roll. The key is being specific and honest as possible about what you absolutely will not accept. Look, here's the bottom line. Knowing what you don't want is just as important as knowing what you do want. Anti-goals give you clarity when regular goals feel fuzzy, and a lot of times they will, especially starting something new. They give you boundaries when everything else feels overwhelming. They give you that permission to say no when you need to protect what matters. Okay, so stop just chasing what you want and start defining what you won't accept. Start protecting what you won't compromise. Start being clear about what you're not willing to tolerate, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is decide what you absolutely will not do. Cool? Anyway, hope you guys dug it. Hope you took something away from it. And I will absolutely, most definitely talk to you next time. Later.